Because I am just extremely frustrated right now with my hair. The reason that I am frustrated is because I have CCCA. Not even going to attempt to pronounce what that is, but it's a form of alopecia, and it's kind of one of the most critical forms of alopecia because it deals with the scarring of my scalp, which means my hair follicles are completely damaged in the areas that are affected, and they're not going to grow back. It's a hard truth, something that I've had to accept, but I keep having this slight bit of hope, and every time that I hang on to that hope and try something different, I get the same result. That reminds me that you have CCCA and your follicles are scarred and there's not much you can do. Just a short background on how I found out I had CCCA. I first noticed it in high school when in the 10th grade I went and got my hair done, actually for my brother's funeral, and the hairstylist at the time, he noticed that my hair was thinning in one spot. It was about maybe this big at the time. I had noticed it as well, but I didn't think anything of it. I didn't know what to think of it, but he had told me, you know, maybe you should go to a dermatologist, but I'm in high school, don't really have money like that, so never thought anything of it. Fast forward to college, the topic of it came up again. I would go to certain hairstylists and they'd be like, you know, you might want to get this spot in your head looked at or whatever. I would try all kind of greases, hair oils, whatever, thinking, you know, I just had a bald spot and that it would, you know, correct itself. So finally, post-college, I'm in my adult life. I got enough money to visit the dermatologist. I go to the dermatologist. They take a biopsy of my scalp. Like I said, it first started back here about the size of, I wouldn't even say a quarter, maybe like a nickel. When back in high school it was. Took a biopsy and came back with the results letting me know I had scarring alopecia. At this point in my life, several years have passed since the spot first shown, and it's much bigger. They pretty much just told me the news, like there's not a lot we can really do about it. Your follicles are permanently damaged, you can't reverse it. And they just gave me that information and just let me go. And they gave me some droplets. They did the little, I had incisions put in my scalp, like needles. And that's what kind of gave me this hope, because they'll always say, you know, we may not be able to cure it, but we can stop the progression of it. So recently I went back to a dermatologist again. This is about 3 years after the first time I went. And this was a black woman this time. I thought maybe, you know, I need to have a black doctor look at my hair because I'm a black woman. And maybe she could give me some different advice or come with a different result. Unfortunately, her result was the same. She did the same thing. She did a biopsy. She did the needles in my head for treatment, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it's just a hard truth that I have to accept, that my once nickel-sized bald spot is now spreading throughout my head and there's nothing I can do about it. I've cut my hair over the years so many times. Like, I mean, completely shaved my hair off because, like I said, I'm holding on to this hope that maybe if I just start over, you know, it'll start growing in different, or it'll do this or it'll do that. But the truth of the matter is it's not, and it's actually getting worse. So I want to show y'all, like I mentioned, it started here. You can see where my hair is thin here. Like under the light, you see so much scalp right there. It was really small, but it was small, but it has spread into like this huge open space in my head. And I'm going to be looking around, looking a little crazy because I'm focused on right here and not my actual face. But if y'all could see just how large that space is right there. And it has moved into the top of my head. I'm getting thinning up here. And it's moved to my sides. I thought that maybe my edges were just thinning from wearing wigs and things like that. I was hoping that it wasn't the alopecia, but it's actually the alopecia that's just spreading, and I don't know at what point all of my hair will be gone. I cut my hair in this cut. I dyed it blonde because blonde is typically a color that it kind of blends with the scalp a little bit. It's not as obvious, but I got bored with the blonde. I'm also a person that changes my hair a lot when I'm bored. So that's another, difficult part of this for me, is that I like wearing different hairstyles. But I just colored my hair like a burgundy red, whatever color, thinking that, maybe this will look good on me. Maybe this will give me a little bit of confidence to wear my hair. But honestly, y'all, I washed, the dye out and everything. And this is the result. And I'm just like, no matter what I do, I feel like that giant spot in the back of my head, and me not having edges and this thinning on the top of my head is just going to be there. So honestly, it's inspiring me to start a head wrap line that I'm working on. I know nothing about sewing or anything, but I am really trying to get into head wraps because that's what I've been wearing lately. I go to work, I just wear head wraps. I went into this phase where I was wearing lace wigs a lot, and I felt like wearing the lace wigs actually contributed to the progression of thinning on my scalp. And not only that, it's just like at some point you get tired of hiding behind wigs and pretending that you have like this long luscious hair, and it's just like, this ain't even me. So I'm not saying I'm not going to wear wigs, because I probably will. I have a collection of lace wigs just sitting here in my house, but I want to be able to be confident in my look as well. That's why I tried to embrace, just wearing short hair, coloring it, hoping that will work. But it's really not giving me the confidence that I need. It actually just makes me feel very self-conscious about myself. Like from the front, I look like this, but if I'm going out to the grocery store or wherever I might be, I just have this constant feeling that people are only looking at the big giant spot in my head and just all these little holes and gaps in my head. It's really something difficult to accept. I mean, as a woman, your hair is a huge part of who you are, or at least that's what society makes you think. So it's tough for me to accept. I'm pregnant right now too, and even in the back of my mind, I'm always like, I hope I don't pass this down to my daughter, because alopecia can be hereditary. But I just say all that to say that this is the inspiration for me to start a head wrap line, because that's where I find the most comfort, more than wigs, more than anything else. I feel like I still have my crown when I wear head wraps. So I'm just going to see how this goes, see how it works for me, see if I can get the confidence back, because y'all, my hair is it's not going to grow back. This is what I have to deal with. And this is my truth. So I have to live in it. I have to accept it, but I have to also embrace it in some kind of way. So if you deal with CCCA or any type of alopecia, hair thinning, hair loss, or whatever, I would advise you to stay encouraged. I know it's hard, because it's hard for me, but like I said, I found out ever since high school, and it's not making it any easier for me to accept, but it is what it is. And I really hope to make a line of beautiful head wraps that can be worn, just to remind you that, with or without hair, you still have a crown. You still are beautiful. You're not less than, any less of a woman because of it. And I'm just glad I have somebody who embraces my short hair with me. My husband is awesome, and I know a lot of women, they like to feel like men won't like them with short hair. But if you have to cut all your hair off, sis, cut it all off, because I mean, it's just the truth we have to accept, unfortunately. But y'all just stay tuned. I really hope to get this line off the ground. I'm working on it. Not really about promoting my line, though. I just wanted to talk about having CCCA and the point that I'm at with it, because I'm kind of just over it. But I know there are plenty of women out there that can also relate. They may not just want to talk about it, but embrace yourself, sis. Stay tuned, y'all. So.